The thoughts, opinions, and general overall shade thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. Yeah. Good morning, you guys. That's right. It is Thursday, September 12th, and today is National Hug and High Five Day. It's also not National Just One Human Family Day, National School Pitcher Day for all you kiddies out there, National Report Medicare Fraud Day, because I guess they're encouraging snitching all of a sudden. And it's also National Video Games Day, Rico. On top of National Chocolate Milkshake Day. Thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. You can look up above and down below to see exactly where we live on the internet. And we are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on our very own website at www.highat9news.com. So thank you to everyone joining us from whichever platform you are joining us on. But we are going to kick this off with the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte, the baby daddy specialist, the former diaper changer, and now the driver to school on days. That's right. It is none other than the dope dad himself, Rico Lamitte. Audio from you. Are you on mute or? We're not getting any audio from you, Rico, at all. Hold on, hold on. I think it's on our end. Hold on, stand by. Oh, are we good now?
Jason, go?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Now I can hear you, Rico.
Oh, here we go.
There we go. There we go.
All right.
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
All right, so we'll talk about Indiana, man. We know that Indiana's been struggling to get their cannabis movement going. You know, you had Mike Pence pushing his thing, and then all the Republicans pushing their prohibition after that. But there might be a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here, right? So I'm gonna start things off with a little story, right? So y'all will not hear me heaping praise on my own college football position coach very often, because I don't believe he was particularly good at coaching football, but he was a beast with the one-liners, though. I think of him like a black Dale Schafer. It's something that I've grown to respect a lot more as I've gotten older, and coach would always have some kind of crazy, outdated, most likely non-PC shit on deck that me and my homeboys still bring up and reminisce about 20 years later. One of my favorites was the plumber's proverb. Whenever we fucked up on or off the field, you pull us aside and ask us, "Hey, fellas, y'all ever heard of the plumber's proverb? Shit rolls downhill."
That's true.
Right? And it was his way of saying that if we missed a tackle, gave up a touchdown, got in an off-campus fight, arrested, whatever it was, he'd be the one in the hot seat suffering collateral damage because of what we did. It's kind of like what's going on with downvote ballots for the Republican Party right now. And a big win might be coming for Indiana's cannabis community as a result. An increasing number of bipartisan polls are revealing a shift in American voter sentiment and fatigue tied to the far right views and divisive rhetoric popularized and distributed by former President Donald Trump. Trump's current campaign is limping out of his poor debate performance earlier this week against Vice President Kamala Harris, and the shit's rolling downhill to Republicans that have mirrored his views. According to the Indiana Capitol Chronicle's Nikki Kelly, if elected governor, pro-pot Indiana Democrat Jennifer McCormick, previously seen as a long shot gubernatorial nominee against the Trump-backed Republican Mike Braun, officially laid out her detailed plan, not to be confused with the concept of a plan, to legalize for the Hoosier state this morning. Hoosiers have made it clear they support adult use cannabis and are frustrated by Indiana's outdated prohibition laws, said McCormick. Our plan takes a common sense approach by first introducing a well-regulated medical marijuana industry, allowing us to address potential regulatory challenges and ensure a smooth transition to well-regulated legal adult cannabis. It's the third week in a row that McCormick has laid out a proposal on specific topics, including educational and ethics reform. Per Kelly's reporting, her opponent, Republican Mike Braun, has only offered a plan on property taxes. When pressed last week about whether he will be sharing other proposals, he said, quote, "It remains to be seen." Looks like that whole concept of a plan thing is caught on. Braun added that when you do it, you still got to make sure that it's going to pass the legislature. And I think whatever Jennifer puts out there is going to be unlikely to pass the legislative muster of supermajority. Democrats and some Republicans have been pushing the General Assembly to legalize for several sessions, but many conservative Republicans remain opposed. McCormick's plan includes several key components, and Kelly listed them out. Establishing an Indiana Cannabis Commission. The plan will create Indiana Cannabis Commission, which will be responsible for overseeing the legal cannabis industry, including regulation, licensing, ensuring compliance with safety standards. The independent body will help Indiana develop a well-regulated cannabis market, protecting Hoosiers and ensuring transparency as the state transitions to full legalization. Establishing the medical marijuana industry. The plan calls for immediate creation of a just doubled that one. Sorry about that. I think they put it up there double. But transition to adult use cannabis. While the initial focus is on medical marijuana, the plan outlines a clear pathway toward full adult use legalization. This phased approach will mitigate system challenges and ensures Indiana's cannabis market is well regulated and effective. 3, regulating hemp-derived THC. The plan also addressed the issue of unregulated hemp-derived THC products currently flooding Indiana's gas stations and smoke shops. By regulating these substances, the state will protect consumers and ensure the cannabis products meet safety standards. And finally, economic benefits, something that she's trying to court Republicans on. Economic benefits are listed as legalizing adult use cannabis could generate an estimated $172 million annually in tax revenues for Indiana, providing a significant boost to the state's economy and funding for essential services. And she ended with this quote. Indiana is an island of prohibition surrounded by states with legal cannabis industries, added McCormick. By taking a responsible, phased approach, we can ensure that our state is prepared for full adult use legalization while immediately providing relief through medical marijuana. 3 of Indiana's 4 neighbors have legalized recreational marijuana: Illinois, Michigan, and Ohio, while Kentucky legalized medical. Current polls have the 2 candidates neck and neck at 36%. A 11-point swing over the past few weeks after Braun has lost voter confidence due to ties to far-right conspiracy theorists. And then he himself complained about the surge for Kamala Harris and Donald Trump's unpopularity being rolling downhill to him. So my question to everybody is Indiana going to turn blue? And are we going to finally see some weed legally very soon in the Hoosier state? I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for I9 News. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
It was like a long shot.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you, Rachelle. It's a long shot.
I still think it's a long shot too.
Yeah, it's a long shot. Indiana's a very, very, very red state.
I think so.
That was a cute attempt at pandering. I mean, that was cute.
That was a pander. Who, me?
No, not you.
Oh, okay.
The campaign promises. I mean, when you pick a hot button topic that most voters aren't voting on, right, and that you really probably aren't going to do too terribly much about to try to usually entice a population, and that's probably going to be young, black and brown, blah, 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 then I consider that pandering. But it's also politicking, so, but it was a cute attempt.
I think the one tie. I'm surprised by your answer on that, Rachelle, because it was a major long shot in Minnesota too. Maybe a little trickeration.
Rachelle ain't buying it. She ain't having it. Tell him, Rachelle.
Maybe a little trickeration to get them to accidentally legalize too.
Well, there was that. That was something else, though. But the adult use cannabis, they've been wanting to get that passed in Minnesota for a long time, but the Republicans in the state Congress weren't having it. And as soon as the Democrats had the majority, they got it done.
Okay.
People wanted it for sure, but we don't have ballot initiatives in Minnesota. So things like legalization have to go through the state legislature.
Okay.
Well. I think it's great that that this gubernatorial candidate put this out there like that. I think it's great for momentum within the state and brings up the talking points and kind of does put Republicans to give some kind of answer or at least their thoughts on this and brings it up as an issue. But I don't think that this lady has a chance of winning.
They're neck and neck right now.
I mean, you believe polls, bro?
I don't.
I love it.
It reminds me of a.
I'm gonna, be tepid with my answer there because I've never believed in any polls, but I just think it's very interesting how you and your right-wing friends believe all the polls when they're going your way, but you don't like to. You say you don't believe any of them when they're going the other way.
Well, that is because a lot.
I don't ever believe them. I don't ever believe them because one, you're not getting a full picture. Two, like who's really actually responding to these polls? I don't believe any of the polling that is done. So don't look me in the Jason soup.
Whoa.
I didn't call you out by name. I said many of your right-wing friends. I don't consider you a friend of Jason. I consider you a colleague while we're on the show.
He's my friend.
Oh, boy. So, I mean,
I think that after this election cycle, we're going to see the dust settle. And I think there's a lot of room for movement in cannabis, both medical and recreational, in these hardline states. But for right now, there's too much drama going on. This does not break through the drama.
I don't think so at all.
Each election cycle gives us a better position because it makes common sense to stop throwing people in jail for smoking weed when they can go out and drink beer and wine and whiskey all day long. It just doesn't make a lot of sense anymore. But I don't see anything breaking through the drama that we're going to see for the next month and a half or so.
I agree, Dale. I agree. No, I think it's very, very interesting times right now. I don't trust none of these numbers. I don't trust nothing nobody says and half of what I see. And we'll just see what happens in November.
And also, too, a lot of these polls get manipulated to enhance not just voter turnout during different times of the election, but also to enhance different fundraising goals because they have to put out these quarterly reports and whatnot. And so a lot of times right before the end of a quarter, you'll see drastic shifts in the polls to encourage people to contribute more.
Do you think Indiana they care about the economic side of it? You have 4 states around you that are selling weed. It essentially pushed Ohio to legalize quicker under a red.
That is an interesting point. There was a Democratic congresswoman that I had a pretty good relationship with that was from Indiana, and she was very, very pro cannabis. And so I think that's a valid question, and time will tell. But I don't have an answer for that right now.
Chelsea, good luck, Indiana. Whether it's under McCormick or Mike Brown, either way, I hope they get their weed, man.
This is the state of Mike Pence too, former vice president.
Yeah. People who iron their underwear.
Exactly, Dale. Exactly.
But you know what? It's a good export. Indiana exports all their guns to Chicago, and maybe Chicago can export all their weed back to Indiana. Maybe that's how it's just going to be for the next couple of years.
You know what? On that, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to be right back.
Even swap.
Mm-hmm. The Network Show is coming back to LA September 18th and 19th. Make sure to get your tickets now for the only B2B licensed flower trade show in LA. With its previous shows selling out, you'll want to act fast so you don't miss out on over 150 of the best brands and distributors throughout California. The Network Show captures and ensures an intimate, focused environment for California's most influential brands and retailers to join forces in the true spirit of the legacy operator. So head over to www.networkshow.co/ticketing to reserve your spot and start cultivating connections at this year's Network Show. Thank you, guys.
All right, y'all. We have a little bit of a switch up in the, if you will, in the lineup today, and because I think Jason is backpedaling and flip flopping back there.
Never stop the cap.
We have. It's my pleasure to announce our next commentator. She's a cannabis and psychedelics reporter, editor at Green State, and probably the most level-headed person on the show, here to keep us in check.
Really?
And also
level-headed,
the queen of all things Midwest Lego, Rachelle Gordon.
Oh, the most level-headed person on High at 9. That actually is that's quite an honor. I'll take that. So my story this week actually comes from our friend Alex over at Weed Week by way of Bloomberg Law. The DCC allegedly has ignored pesticide warnings, former staffer alleges. So this is juicy. A former Department of Cannabis Control official sued the California agency this week, alleging she was retaliated against and fired after raising concerns about pesticide-contaminated products and other regulatory breaches. Former DCC Deputy Director of Lab Services Tanisha Bogans alleges she was sidelined and then terminated after DCC Director Nicole Elliott repeatedly failed to act on whistleblower complaints about potency inflation and banned pesticides. The complaint also alleges that the agency has received warnings about the presence of fentanyl in licensed products. The DCC was not able to comment on the lawsuit today. Government agencies seldom comment on pending lawsuits. And this goes on to say rampant regulatory issues. Let's see what that's about. In June 2023, DCC Director Nicole Elliott received an email from Needles-based San Bernardino Co-Lab U.S. Cannabis Laboratories, quote, expressing concerns about pressure from growers to falsify test results, unquote, the complaint alleges. The lab had tested product off the shelf and found potency inflation to be widespread. A month later, Bogans, who says she was not yet aware of the U.S. cannabis complaint, received another potency inflation complaint from San Diego-based Infinite Chemical Analysis and soon raised the issue, quote, citing that the DCC's failure to properly regulate testing is causing labs to cheat. In October, Bogan said she received a document from the California Cannabis Industry Association expressing concerns that pressures on labs to inflate potency was undermining consumer trust in the licensed industry. She also heard from another lab, Pacific Star, which claimed ethical labs had been pushed out of the market. Bogan said she forwarded the Pacific Star email to Nicole Elliott and Chief Deputy Director Rasha Salama, her direct manager. In response, she alleges she faced, quote, hostility and accusations from Elliott. Soon after, according to the complaint, Elliott heard from another lab at Resco, which brought up potency inflation, and that it had found a banned pesticide in a shelf-bought product. In November 2023, around when a performance evaluation determined she was exceeding expectations, Bogans alleged she received more reports of banned pesticides and, quote, several anonymous tips regarding fentanyl in products. Okay. Bogans alleges that she reported these issues to both Elliott and Salama. After weeks without any action, the complaint says Bogans contacted law enforcement, which referred her to the Department of Justice. The agency offered to provide free testing, according to the complaint. After telling Salama about the conversation with the Department of Justice, the complainant was severely reprimanded and excluded from any further conversations regarding fentanyl and other key meetings. Bogans, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, alleges the intentional exclusion was due to the DCC's resistance to the public's efforts to address rampant regulatory issues in the California market. In 2023, the complaint alleges Bogans heard from a private whistleblower that a distributor had been growing and manufacturing without a license. The situation was particularly serious, the complaint alleges, because the company's principal was an elected official. The company, the complaint alleges, also served as an intermediary between growers and testers, promoting favoritism and corruption. The complaint says Bogans escalated the matter and asked about pursuing criminal charges by contacting the Justice Department or FBI. After receiving no response about pesticides, which she apparently allegedly made a statement on, Bogans said she brought it up again in January, requesting contact information for several state agencies. The next day, DCC Director Elliott told Bogans she was fired. DCC has issued several product recalls this year. Today, it issued its first recall for the presence of banned pesticide, help me Lord, paclobutrazol. All right. I don't know about you guys, but these are some pretty wild accusations, but they don't surprise me in the least. It's clear that banned pesticides are getting onto store shelves. It's clear that recalls are not being issued swiftly enough or widespread enough, so I'm really not surprised. But some of this stuff about a quote elected official being involved in a trap grow, I don't know, that's pretty juicy. What do you guys think about this?
There's some wild allegations, and we shall see.
Did they mention what elected official?
They did not name them in this article. It just said the distributor's phone number and email were not operational. The local official in question wasn't able to comment immediately. Not sure why Alex left it out of the article. Maybe he was concerned about, talking shit.
I feel like when they leave those kind of points out, it's just there is no credibility. It's a baseless allegation. The same thing with this anonymous tip line with the fentanyl, whatnot. That sounds like total BS.
Yeah,
too.
that I'm not so sure about. But the pesticides for sure.
Mm-hmm. I can see kids at home just trolling the DCC, like, oh yeah, this company has fentanyl in there, da 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 da, and just it's all just sending them down rabbit holes.
Well, here's the problem when we're not controlling the regulated market the way that it should be controlled, and we're allowing adulterated product to come in from outside of the regulated market, is who the fuck knows, right? Because I know that trap growers don't care. I know that, there's some amazing trap growers. Shout out to trap weed forever. But we also can't control it if things are not going through the system the way they're intended to. I mean, I received a recall from the DCC yesterday for Class X hash dog walkers, and it was sold on or after January 25th of this year. Let me tell you what happens if something's been in my store since January 25th. It's not there anymore. Let me tell you as a consumer what happens if I bought a 5-pack of dog walkers January 25th. I smoked them by January 28th. So this is not something that is surprising to me at all. It's not surprising there's a government official involved with a distributor that is doing the wrong things. And I'm not surprised that they didn't name the name. I don't think that takes away any credibility from that point for me, because I don't want to get shot at by somebody who might be in my same jurisdiction, who might be able to control and pull strings on my own license. So I think that we'll see as this shakes out and see what's going down. But I think that the DCC is doing a really poor job at handling these recalls. I think that the labs who are not following the letter of the law, because you guys are the last stop in whether things are safe for human consumption, which is the biggest issue. The inflated test results, that sucks. That's a marketing thing. That sucks. But if you're allowing products to go through that are unfit for human consumption, that were combusting, which adds on another layer, then shame on you, and you should all have your licenses pulled. There's no other chance for that. If this is what you're willing to do to make money, and we all know who they are, if you're allowed to mail in your compliance testing, that's not following the track and trace requirements. Why? Because if I go in there and I say I've taken 10 pounds of this 20-pound batch and I pulled it from, my grow in the backyard, I'm going to send you samples from the ones that came from the regulated grow that I know are clean. But then I'm going to put that same batch ID on everything, and I'm going to slap this clean test result out. I'm going to send whatever out into the market. And the lab that did that knows what I'm talking about. But I digress. This is something that we're going to continue to see until the DCC actually pulls these licenses, because you guys shouldn't be operating in a place of public safety.
And I'm gonna push back a little bit on what you said, Jenny, because they definitely need to be outing an elected official if they're saying that an elected official owns this license. I mean, they are an elected official.
And I'm sure that they will be, Jason, but I don't think that the guy who wrote the article has to be the one to do it. I think this needs to come down because he is a partner in a licensed facility. I'm sure that'll come out.
The state's not going to do it because they haven't done
They're
anything.
They're going to have to, Jason. They're going to have to. They're going to have to.
No, they don't. They haven't been doing anything about it already.
This points out two problems with bureaucracies. One of them, that they are slow as molasses in January at doing shit. And if you go outside their little preferred circle of control, they're gonna shit can you. This lady went to the DOJ because inside Nicole was not doing shit about this. Is going out in the marketplace, complaints were coming in, you're getting nothing inside the agency, so she goes outside and all of a sudden you're persona non grata. It's one of the problems with the bureaucratic state we have. They're slow as hell and they protect their own rather than the public.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And by elected official, like my dad was technically elected official. He was the electrical inspector for the county. So you know what I mean?
The electrical inspector is not an elected position. You don't vote for your electrical inspector. That's an appointee position.
Yeah, you do in a lot of Jason, not in a lot of counties and municipalities.
That's ridiculous.
My dad ran for it,
That's
Jason.
ridiculous.
Stop. Well, it's ridiculous that you're arguing with somebody who was a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, Jason.
Yeah.
Once again, baseless arguments from Jason Beck.
Show me a ballot somewhere that you vote for your
baseless arguments from Jason Beck. There you go. I'll find you one. Go ahead. Move on.
Please do. Please do.
Yes.
I'm waiting.
I like that.
I'm still waiting.
Thursday spice.
Just so we're saying. You know what I'm saying?
It just gets old, Jason.
Dale, and any other thoughts on this, Dale, before we move on?
It's the bureaucratic state is one of the big problems we face in this country, and this is just an example of it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, I'm not surprised at all by the lab shopping and this and that. Like that's everybody knows that that's going on. But the fentanyl allegations, that to me is just total baseless.
Right.
I don't even know why they even put that in this article, because to me it takes away from the credibility of the article by having it in there in the first place.
There's probably some cops put it in there.
Oh, that would be hilarious, bro. Oh man, on their on time while they're behind the desk, just DCC.
Kind of like eating cats in Ohio.
Right.
Oh, that's real. That's just happening out there.
Electrical inspectors are appointed in some cases, while in others they are elected.
What you got to say about that, Jason?
Just
nothing, because he's fucking wrong again.
Just because
he got spanked.
Just because Jenny's pulling something.
He got spanked.
Just because Jenny's pulling something off of Google doesn't mean it's real.
My daddy, Jason.
I
said, show me a ballot where someone actually votes for an electrical inspector, because I've never seen that or heard of that in my life. And until I see it,
just clicking R. You're just clicking R. You're not paying attention.
Yeah, there's plenty of things you're not gonna see in your whole life, Jason.
You'd be surprised at the things I've seen in my day, Rico. But nonetheless, speaking of someone who's seen a thing or two, that's right, we're going to roll right into attorney Mr. Dale Schafer. He's the founder of Armada Law Practice, and one point in time did some time for a cannabis crime. Here to show you how he can fly and defy gravity and at the same time piss up a rope is none other than Mr. Dale Schafer.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Jason. This story this morning is a follow-up from a story I did, I think, in July, where there's a direct challenge to the Raich decision out of Massachusetts. The story comes out of Marijuana Moment. Ben Adlin is the author of it. And it's brought by four plaintiffs. Three of them are companies, and one of them is the CEO of Treevit, Massachusetts. happened is that a direct challenge has been filed in the Court of Appeals against the Raich decision, and this is chess being played. And now I can't see myself, so that's okay because I'm kind of
Don't worry,
old and ugly.
we're fixing that for you, Dale. Just give it a second.
Okay.
Rachelle just dropped, so
Right.
we got to regrid the screen.
Okay.
We
Well,
have another aftershock.
as you may recall, in 2005, the Supreme Court decided the Raich decision, which gave the federal government interstate commerce power over Angel Raich growing weed in her backyard and using it in her house. And this went even further back to a New Deal case, Wickard versus Filburn from the early 1940s. And what we're seeing today in this current Supreme Court we have is that they're just not buying all these old New Deal theories, and the progressives are, not particularly happy about it. But this case is playing right towards this court. Now, one of their main arguments is that the situation has changed since 2005. Now, the majority of states in this country have some sort of cannabis legalization, medical or recreational. We have the Rohrabacher FAR and its latest iteration, Blumenauer McClintock, I think is what it's called today. Yep. And so the federal government has sort of abdicated a lot of its responsibility through hook or by crook over interstate prohibition against marijuana. And that was sort of the basis of the Raich decision, that the Controlled Substances Act made a bold statement that the federal government, using their commerce powers, was going to prohibit all marijuana because even the intrastate marijuana activities had a substantial impact on the interstate marijuana market. Well, that's just not true anymore. And when this case was filed in the district court recognized that these companies and individuals have standing, but that they were not going to go against Raich. They were not even going to allow any record to be developed about whether, in fact, there was a substantial impact on interstate commerce in marijuana because of these state legal activities. Now, when I was reading the appellate brief last night, what jumped out at me is that they have thrown in historical perspective. They use the term marijuana, but marijuana was a term that came in the early part of the 20th century. But before that, it was called hemp. There were a lot of varietals of hemp. And they went all the way back into England in the common law period and how hemp production for medical and recreational use and industrial use was promoted. And what this tells me is that they are sending signals to the Supreme Court that we want you to take the position that you took with the guns and Ruin and Rahimi and the Dobbs decision and take a historical perspective on how the government has treated marijuana or hemp. And if the Supreme Court does that, then I think this case is doomed. One of the other problems that I see coming from this that needs to get answered is that the Supreme Court in the Raich decision allowed interstate commerce to control intrastate non-commercial activities, and they used the rational basis test. Well, I don't know that that's the appropriate standard to be used because there's a 10th Amendment right in the states to do anything and everything that's not specifically given exclusively to the federal government. And the federal government has abdicated now a lot of its interstate commerce authority over marijuana. And so I would like to see the strict scrutiny standard, that they take a look at anything that interferes with intrastate and make sure that federal law is carefully tailored to satisfy a compelling state interest. And if that happens, the federal government's going to lose. Now, the theme I've been pounding all along here is that Raich is old. Wickard versus Filburn is even older. And beginning at the end of the New Deal, the Supreme Court changed from being a very conservative court to a much more progressive court. But what we have today is that the Supreme Court has gone from being progressive to very conservative. So I would expect to see the pendulum swing back here. This is the first shot in the appellate court. I think that these the litigators here and the plaintiffs understand they're going to lose at the appellate level. They are laying out the case for the Supreme Court now to take this up. I think Clarence Thomas has clearly, tipped his hand. If he has anything to say about this, he's going to throw out Interstate Commerce Authority over intrastate activities. I'm going to throw this back at you guys. Tell me what you think.
This is good news overall, Dale. And I agree with you. They're definitely going to lose on the appellate level, but it does seem like they're trying to set it up for a win in the Supreme Court. Do we know what jurisdiction this was filed in, and what companies are behind it?
It was Massachusetts. It's a federal court, so it's going to be in the first appellate district. The first appellate court there, and it's Canna Provisions, Wiseacre Farms, Verano Holdings, and a CEO of Trevitt named Yossi Sellers. I'm probably torturing that name because
these are the guys that filed that last lawsuit that they lost on, if I remember correctly, right, Rico?
Yeah. It's the same ones. It's a strategic plan. I'm sure it's funded, and they know we're going to lose at the trial level. We're going to lose at the appellate level. Mm-hmm. But within the next year or to year and a half, they're going to be in front of the Supreme Court, because I think this is one of those cases the court would like to take up and limit the interstate commerce power.
Mm-hmm. Man, this is going to be good. I got my popcorn out. You have any thoughts on this, Jenny Beth?
No, I agree with Dale.
You agree with Dale? Sweet.
Thank you. Very easy. My daughters say the same thing to me, Jenny Beth.
Oh,
you're right. Yeah. They're going, oh shit.
I'm going to put myself up for readoption. Then my dad won't be an elected official.
Oh boy. Oh boy. On that, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to be right back. I'm Jason Beck, and this is Smoky Vanilla. And if you want to feel as good as I look, then you need to get a stretch and smoke with Smoky Vanilla.
Hi, I'm Smoky Vanilla. I have my bachelor's degree in kinesiology, and I'm a sports massage therapist and stretch coach. I focus mostly on individuals that are in sport with chronic pain or injury. I love to intuitively create and customize a session based on the individual that I'm working with. We'll go over a few postural assessments, work together to create a wellness journey based on the health history, past injuries, or anything still affecting you today. And we'll get you back on your feet right away with less pain.
We're about to stretch, and then we're gonna smoke, because we're gonna get on our stretch and smoke. If you want to feel as good as I look, then you need to come on down and get a stretch and smoke with none other than Smoky Vanilla. And we are back. Whatever you're doing, make sure that you smash that like button. I know we'll appreciate it, you'll appreciate it, and you too will appreciate it. Also, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and all of the articles that we cover on today's show will be up on our website in just a matter of hours. I just ordered the summertime strawberry salad when added steak on top here at Anna's. Make sure you do the same thing too next time you're in downtown Long Beach. Come on down and check out Anna's joint on the 400 block of Pine Street. They have amazing selection of beers, foods, and when you come down here to Anna's, you can even challenge me to a game of shuffleboard if you want to lose. Did you get that? So, next time you're in downtown Long Beach on Pine Avenue, make sure you stop by Anna's Joint on the 400 block. Not only do they have Anna's Joint, this restaurant and bar, but they also have the amazing deli next door, and then next door to that they have a very exotic flower shop. You may want to stop by and say hi.
Up next.
Horrendous.
I'm gonna get caught on the hot mic here.
Exactly.
we got the melanated, opinionated, and feminated conservative pro-pot advocate who is not afraid to call out fellow Republicans on stage today. I'm enjoying the spice as I see it. She is the mind behind Kind Cannabis Consultant. The juice is serving up justice serve for 501c3s. And bringing us our first story, a second half, Jenny Beth Dills. What you got for us today?
All right. We are heading out to Connecticut. Hampton is on the verge of having its third cannabis retail shop with a proposal to convert a former lingerie store on Whitney Avenue into a cannabis facility. This new shop would join 2 others already approved for the area, all within a 3-mile stretch on Route 10. The proposed site is the former Lady Olga's Lingerie at 3490 Whitney Avenue. Maryland-based Janai LLC has submitted an application to the Hampton Planning and Zoning Commission to repurpose the 1,200 square foot space. The shop would be situated in the Westwoods Corner Shopping Plaza, which also houses popular retailers like Talbot's and M&T Bank. Janney believes that this location aligns well with Hampton zoning regulations and offers easy access for both customers and employees. The PZC has scheduled a public hearing on this application for September 24th. A traffic study included in the application suggests that the new cannabis facility would have a minimal impact on local traffic. It estimates an increase of about 29 vehicle trips during weekday rush hours and 35 additional trips during peak weekend times. The report indicates that any traffic delays would be limited. Hampton has already greenlit 2 cannabis retailers at former sites of Keating Bros Motors and P&M Fine Foods, although neither has opened yet. With this new proposal, the town is looking to expand its cannabis market significantly. Statewide, Hartford County boasts the highest concentration of recreational marijuana dispensaries, and New Haven has approved 5 retail establishments, with 2 currently operating. The CEO of Fine Fettle Dispensary, Ben Zacks, noted that the sheer number of approved shops in the New Haven area raises questions about market demand. Zacks commented, "The real question is, can you make the business models make sense? It's really expensive to operate and the tax structure is challenging." He emphasized the importance of targeting areas without existing competition, suggesting that the saturation could lead to struggles for some retailers. As the cannabis retail market evolves in Connecticut, potential investors are reassessing their strategies. Zacks pointed out that many now view the industry as requiring significant investment and hard work, leading some to reconsider their plans. They see a ton of hard work and a lot of capital investment necessary, he noted, which may deter new entrants into an already competitive landscape. Ultimately, while Hampton's proposed cannabis shop could provide additional access for consumers, the long-term viability of multiple retailers in close proximity remains uncertain. As the public hearing approaches, the town will weigh both community feedback and market dynamics in its decision-making process. So when I picked this story this morning, Jason said, "Is this a good story?" And I think it is, and I'll tell you why. So in different markets, we've seen things, and I wish Soham was here today. I wish Saman was here today, because Colorado used to have what was called the Green Mile on Broadway in Denver. And you could go here, across the street, ping pong all day and hit probably 6 to 10 cannabis retailers. Now, most of those were actually doing pretty well, but that was back in the days where we would have all these crazy signs with ridiculous deals because.
Why do we lose her audio?
Where the fuck happened here?
Your audio's going in and out.
Your audio dropped. So go back to all these deals.
Okay. Had all the deals. We could ping back and forth on a street. Most of them did well for a while. And then as recreational came into play, some of them died out and the bigger ones stayed around, right? We've also seen Santa Ana, which was ridiculous. They just said, there's no undue concentration. I think it's interesting that there are 3 shops within a 3-mile radius, none of which have opened yet. So I think it'll be interesting to see. First of all, we've already got owners complaining that, hey, this is too saturated. I can't compete with this. Jason, Oz was right across the street, very close to LAPCG, very close to Zen, very close to a lot of dispensaries. And it's been there forever, right? So it's pretty close. There's a pretty good amount.
I say now there's ones that are close, but not then.
LAPCG's been there. Correct. Zen's been there.
I don't think that's close, and I don't think Zen is close either.
I think it's close, but okay. Anyhow, we'll look at the radius. Within 3 miles, there are 3 shops. None of them had opened yet. I think that it's interesting for the zoning, and I think that it's interesting when they listed the other shops in this area. Talbot's is, for those of you that don't shop in upper middle-aged women's clothing, you probably haven't been to a Talbot's. I've been with my mom, so I know exactly what Talbot's is. So I think maybe this is speaking to the fact that they're trying to play on the upper middle class, older demographic. So we'll see what happens and see if there's in fact room enough for all of these shops to win. And if we should have buffer zones that keep shops a certain amount apart. So I'm going to throw it back to you guys, but I think it's interesting when we're looking at zoning and looking at some jurisdictions that are making very, very stringent regulations and others that are kind of letting these guys stack on top of each other, like Burger King and McDonald's on the same corner.
Are the people, are the locals upset about the lingerie store gone? Like maybe they should incorporate that, show a little unity.
I don't know that first of all, unity in the community is amazing. Second of all, most places have regulations that say that you can't have sexualized things in retail.
No, that's just California. We're talking about New England right here. Remember, they actually approved. It didn't go through because they couldn't figure out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
They couldn't get their money. Yeah, blunts and boobs and blunts.
that in Massachusetts?
Yeah, in Massachusetts. Yeah, so this is Connecticut.
What a asshole thing to do. Yeah, fair enough. I think Connecticut is probably a little more conservative than the population in some parts of Boston that might want boobs and blunts. But no, I think it seems like the lingerie store went out of business. So maybe the population has aged out of their skimpy lingeries and into some pre-rolls and gummies.
I mean, I shouldn't speak on this because I don't want to give away my secret sauce back here in my household. But as the lone woman on the show left today, I mean, do you buy your undergarments online, or do you actually go into the store now? Is Victoria's Secret still a thing? I haven't been to a mall in a long ass time.
Oh, well,
Victoria's Secret still exists. I haven't shopped at Victoria's Secret since I was in college. Honey Burdette is way better. But I mean, it's a combination. Like, honestly, you can have your underwears, you can have a personal stylist for your underwears, and they'll ship you a box once a month with freshies. So
I thought you were
have a personal stylist for your underwear?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say you're going to have your underwears and eat them too.
Well, I thought you were about to make an edible when you said your secret sauce. I was like, Rico's doing an edible.
La crema.
Not a bad idea, right?
Guys.
I'm just saying, 10 milligrams. Wait, no, listen.
It's going to go off the rails.
Exactly.
It's not, but it would be effective. Maybe I'll pitch that to Hello again.
Oh boy!
Yeah, I'm trying to be an upstanding citizen today.
Yeah.
Rachelle left. I'm trying to honor her presence.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not falling.
Thanks for asking about my underwear.
I'm not falling into the trap today. We're gonna go to a commercial. We're gonna be right back. The Control Tower from Highly Educated has perfected the dab. Utilizing the concept of thin film evaporation, you can waste none of it and taste all of it. The micro texture of the SE pillar increases nucleation at elevated temperatures. And with the tower propelling at 2,600 RPMs, it's certainly the most efficient dab experience to date. The Control Tower from Highly Educated.
You're welcome.
I mean,
yeah,
it was in the headline. I'm just saying. And we are back. Up next, I-90 head honcho, the highest Republican in every room, known for smoking the best weed in the world, known as Gucci Blanco down in Mar-a-Lago, where when they're not getting raided. And here to break us off with the next story of the day, it's the partying partisan himself, Mr. Jason.
Oh yeah. Oh man, you guys, I got a humdinger for you guys today.
A humdiddly dinger.
A humdinger, yes.
Humming on dingers. Okay, let's go.
I have a couple humdingers, but this is the bigger humdinger, I think. All right, because former owners.
How big is it?
I'll tell you right now, because former owners of a Pennsylvania medical marijuana business defrauded their partner and owe her $24.5 million. A Philly judge just ruled. That's right. Former owners of early Pennsylvania dispensary defrauded their partner and now owe her $24.5 million, a Philadelphia judge ruled just this last week. The lawsuit alleges that the former owners of Lera, L-L-E-R-A, which in 2016 became one of the first medical marijuana businesses in Pennsylvania to obtain a, in quotes, super license to both cultivate and sell cannabis, defrauded partner Shannon Hexter out of millions of dollars by convincing her to give up her more than half of her stake in the company based on false financial information. Haxter was an early partner in Alera's operations in Pennsylvania with a 12% equity stake in the company. The Maryland resident and Pennsylvania state grad leased land in Fulton County to Lera to cultivate cannabis through a business entity called Big Bite Real Estate, LLC. Hexter alleges in legal filings in Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas that Lera Healthcare former CEO Greg Rochlin used credit lines from the successful medical marijuana operation in Pennsylvania to expand into Louisiana in 2018. And Rochlin and other Lera executives, including then Chief Financial Officer Lisa Gray, told Hexter that she didn't have a claim on the Louisiana operation, and her lawyers say in legal filings, but they offered her a deal. Give up 8% of your share in the Pennsylvania company in favor of 4% in the Louisiana company. Rochlin told Hexter that the smaller percent of Louisiana operation was worth more than her Pennsylvania stake. And Hexter's lawyers said in a legal filing that she claims she was told that the company was valued at $59 million, but it was sold for much more not long after. Lera's Pennsylvania operation was acquired in 2019 by TerrAscend, a Canadian cannabis business, for a valuation of $125 million to $225 million. Hexter lost $10 million to $18 million by swapping her equity in Pennsylvania to the Louisiana venture, the lawsuit claims. The 2020 complaint filed by the Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas names multiple business entities related to Lera, such as Lera Holdings, LLC, and Lera Healthcare, LLC, as well as 5 of the company's top executives, including Rochlin and Gray. TerrAscend is not a party in this suit, you guys, but in a quote, they say, this was a case where 5 sophisticated investors sought to take advantage of their less sophisticated partner by presenting an incomplete picture of what was happening at the company and with the company's money, said David Fernstein, a partner at New York City-based Fulkerstein Click, a law firm who represented Hexter. But lawyers for the defendants said in a court filing that Hexter was looking to deepen her partnership with the owners of Lera's Pennsylvania operation, who invited her into their Louisiana venture. And they contended that Hexter is an expert in medical marijuana with experience filing more than a dozen license applications. But when the Pennsylvania business sold for more than the owners expected, Hexter searched for someone to blame for not netting more money. The defense lawyers argued on that. In a quote, they say, Hexter should not be allowed to run away from an arm's-length transaction negotiated by her lawyer because she's now unhappy with the deal she made, defense lawyers wrote in an August brief. Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas Judge Paula Patrick held a 4-day bench trial in July, and last week she ruled that Hexter owed $24.5 million. That's right.
Million.
Yes. Rochlin and Gray and other defendants could not be reached directly, and Michael S. Hino, a partner at Troutman Pepper Law Firm who represented the defendants, said he intends to appeal the ruling. And in a quote says, we strongly disagree with the court's order as a matter of law and fact and stand by our position. Hino sent via an email. And a lower house approves a crackdown. Oh, that's the next story, you guys. That's coming up next. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
That's why I said it might be difficult to go back to back. Go for it, Rico.
It wasn't difficult.
This lady, yeah, she's anybody taking money out of Chad's hands. I'm all for it. She kind of gets screwed. They screwed over the wrong lady.
Yeah, they did, and, right?
Yeah, big ups to her. Finally, somebody who deserves to get rich off of this shit actually got rich, not just John Boehner. I'm all for it.
Oh boy.
Unfortunately, most of these cases don't go this way, ironically.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
which is sad. So I'm glad to see her winning.
I wonder.
I'm glad to see her winning.
I wish Dale was still on, because I'd like to hear some information in regards to this court, because it sounds like this is a different kind of court that they have out there in the Commonwealth. Like they may have different rules for how they make rulings. They may have different rules for how they make rulings. So, like, if you go to tax court, there's you're guilty until proven innocent. Like, there's different laws that govern how the court operates and makes decisions. And so that's why I just wonder if there's different rules with this one, because it's they're specifying this name of this court.
Were they in a district or a state court, Jason?
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say anything about that. So I'm not sure. This says what was it called? What was the exact term? Son of a bitch. Give me a second. Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas.
You think it's because it's a Commonwealth?
Is that why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like
makes sense to me.
Okay, I could buy that. I could buy that.
Yeah, civil.
I would say it's probably their
lawsuit.
state court. Yeah.
Yeah, civil lawsuit. This is dope. Like I'm happy for this woman. I don't know her personally. I've never heard of her, but this is excellent. I love this. And Terracend. I mean, I've got nothing against.
Well, they said Terracend was not named in this. They said Terracend was not named in this.
So it was okay.
Interesting.
Her partners try to get her out of this shit, like knowing that they were going to sell the company to Terracend. So big ups to her, man. Quit doing your business partners dirty like this. Like Jenny Beth said, it's very seldom that this comes out on the right side, but I think it's exactly right, and people should lose like this. If it says valuation of $225 million, and they cut her out of the deal, fuck them. They got what they deserved.
No, 100%. And I think, you guys, this is why you have to be careful who you get into bed with, right? You need to know what happens, what their motivations are, what happens when you break up. Treat this as a marriage. I know that's rudimentary, and I definitely explain it to social equity applicants and everyone else like that, because you really need to break it down like that in your head. What is their goal? Because when you get into a business partnership where the mutual goal is to exit, you exit together. You don't get exited right before they have the big payoff, which is what happened to this woman, unfortunately. And I love to see a little bit of restorative justice happening here in the civil process that's allowing her to get what is due to her.
It was quick too. There was a 4-day bench trial.
Yeah, right.
Don't spend that shit all in one place, because 2.5 goes quick.
I don't know, man. I'd buy some dope shit. I'd go out with the bang. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Fair enough.
Rico'd have no money to put fuel in that yacht he just purchased.
Yeah. She can probably buy. She can probably get. There's probably a fire sale on these oligarch, his oligarch yachts that just sitting on the coast right now. I'd pop off.
Wanna go halvesies? All right.
Why not?
Number
man.
two. I'm gonna go to number 2 now for you guys. I think this is pretty interesting. We're gonna go to Brazil for this. Okay, you ready?
So would you say
you get a BBL?
You got a little Brazilian number 2 coming up?
Yeah, Brazilian number 2. We're gonna drop Jenny off for a BBL. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Jenny's not getting a BBL. Jason is, ironically.
Never.
He's going to be double cheeked up by Monday.
You're fucking crazy.
Ooh, spread them.
Yeah. It's crazy. A lower house approves a crackdown on cannabis light. And the opposition says it's like outlawing nutmeg, you guys. That's right. The lower house on Thursday approved an article in the government security bill banning the sale of so-called cannabis light. That's right. Hemp flowers and products that have an extremely low level of psychoactive compound in normal marijuana that makes people high. Opposition parties said the move was absurd, arguing it would put many law-abiding producers and shops selling these items out of business. In a quote, when it has a low THC content, cannabis has the same psychoactive effect as basil, said center-left Democratic Party PD lawmaker Rachelle Gordon. She says, nutmeg is more of a drug than the substance you are making illegal. Geronimo Del Olio, a five-star movement M5S, said the ruling majority was taking out an entire sector. And Angelo Bonelli of Green Left Alliance, AVS, commented that the mafia is celebrating the fact that the piece of the economy has gone to illegality. Man, you guys, they're going hard on the hemp in Brazil. They're saying no more hemp. They're trying to take people's right for free speech, and they're trying to take their hemp away in Brazil. What do y'all have to say about this?
I'm not going to talk about the free speech thing because that's a very, very complicated issue going down there. But I can talk about the hemp. Mm-hmm. I talk about the hemp thing. That this is kind of wild, man. I mean, hemp in ingestible form is getting a very bad rap right now, and it all stems to that farm bill that your boys put together back in the day. Jason,
I mean, they have a lot of hemp farms too in Brazil, so I wonder what's going to happen to all these farmers out there.
I don't know. Y'all don't care about trees.
Are they going to outlaw ingestible, or are they going to outlaw industrial as well?
It sounds like they're. It doesn't sound like they're outlawing industry at all. They're just outlawing any type of products that could possibly have any psychoactive effect. That's how it sounds to me.
Then I guess you better check your genetics and make sure that you have something with good fiber content so you can make some hempcrete and some other things.
I'm with you on that, but I wonder too, like people that are gonna travel to Brazil. I mean, Brazil's a pretty hot destination, and there'll be probably a lot of people that are buying like legal product here and bringing it there, and they could ultimately catch a case for entering the country with that.
They could catch a case for listen. There are a lot of places you can catch a case for taking something that's legal one place into another place. There are a lot of places you can catch a case for taking something over state lines that's legal, even if it's not cannabis, right? And that's because taxation doesn't carry across states. So if you pay taxes for something in Virginia, you probably shouldn't bring it over into California that way on some products. Tobacco is one of them, right? So I think, you should be careful with international travel, what you bring anywhere, Be careful what fruit you try to take to Hawaii, Jason. I think that these are just travel things that people who are going to travel to that part of the world need to be aware of.
I don't know. I could just see a lot of people having a lot of problems.
It's time to wake up, sounds like.
No. Got to go pay the meter.
I don't know what qualifies in Brazil as "quote unquote" cannabis light.
That's what they're calling. That's what they're calling all the hemp products, cannabis.
I know. I'm saying.
I would say THCA flower.
I know, but what I'm saying is like what content qualifies. Is it like 0.003? Is it similar to what we have? Do you know? In the article?
It doesn't state at that at all in the article. But I'm willing to bet that they're going to say that anything with a psychoactive effect to anything. So I would say their baseline would be 0.000%. Knowing Brazil and how they regulate things out there. Because if it's already at .03, that doesn't leave a lot of room for them to go down.
Well, I mean, what's weed look like down there? Are they making any movement on that?
No, and this is a step back.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do they have like any like movement politically? We don't generally cover Brazil. These are like real questions I'm asking you.
Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but there was 3 quotes from three left-wing groups that do want cannabis out there and are trying to stand up for the industry and whatnot. So, like there definitely is some want and need for that. I mean, last time I was in Brazil, it was totally illegal, and we went to the favelas to go get it.
Oh, you can get whatever you want in the favelas.
Oh, I know. I'm very aware. Yeah, it's popping.
Jason just needs to know if he can bring his THCA seltzer. That's all he's worried about. Can he pack his THCA seltzers when he goes to
go do some seltzer bongs?
Exactly. You guys are funny. I'm glad you guys are enjoying that.
I don't know, man. I hope Brazil gets some real weed. And like I said before, Jason, this is all stemming from
See what you did there.
Marijuana Mitch. Marijuana Mitch.
How is this stemming from Marijuana Mitch, bro?
Why do we have all these hemp derivatives right now? Because of Marijuana Mitch.
That's right, Marijuana Mitch. But I don't get what he has to do with Brazil's policy.
Why is THCA? Why is
because Americans have ingenuity. That's why, Rico.
I'm saying, like, look at the root of it. The root problem is Marijuana Mitch.
Stop it, Kat. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
That's
You're
where
just being so ridiculous today.
I love it when you two bicker.
Mm-hmm. Super ridiculous.
Because it's not you two. But anyways, anyway,
right.
Big ups to Brazil. Free the plant.
Weed for the people.
I'm not for prohibition on anything. I hope that they get, even if it's weed light, as they call it there.
I thought that was cute.
I hope they get it back.
Weed light. Doesn't just
Which means they're looking at America, because we definitely have made that dumbass statement up.
Like I said, you picking up what I'm putting down.
I am because, like, listen, you're going to look at America because America and Canada have the most developed. Canada's done a man job, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to look at,
weed light in Canada.
Chill, Jason.
Just saying.
Whatever. Where they're obviously looking over here and they're like, oh no, look what these jackass Americans are doing, trying to create all these loopholes and selling intoxicating products that aren't age gated. So they're like, can't be us. Mm-hmm. It's smart to look at the failures of others. And when you see them using lingo that was clearly created in America and with a little catchphrase, it's weed light, it's, diet weed, blah, 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 then we know that they're clearly looking here, and that's where they're coming up with some of these reasons.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. Jenny Beth Dills gives me faith in, tomorrow's Republicans.
Well, I'm smart. I was just going to see if Jason could pick up what you were putting down, but I
was. I just wasn't taking the bait. Jenny wanted to take the bait, and yeah.
He does what he likes to call others doing, a little bit of gaslighting.
Stop
right there, because he is the gassiest lighter of them all.
Oh,
and I just is what it is. I'm trying to unify motherfuckers, Jason. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you over here trying to divide.
You're hold on. You're a unifier.
I bring people together, baby.
Get the hell out.
Bring them together.
Of it.
I do. Mm-hmm. I do. You know what I'm saying? That's why you burn shit down. The easiest time to bring people together is in times of emergency, right? And so, and the house is on fire.
You know what?
You don't ask people's political affiliations when the house is on fire.
I just got a text from one of our viewers, and they say all the weed in Brazil comes from Colombia. He said his friend owns this website in Brazil for over 17 years, and apparently that's where a lot of people will be buying all their stuff from. Interesting.
There's a lot of cultivation in Colombia. I spent a lot of time there, and it was a very beautiful place with great people.
Yeah, I heard the facilities are next level, but is the quality there on a mass scale?
I'm gonna say
it's all right. You want me to talk about it since I've smoked it this year?
Yeah.
Go for it, Jenny.
All right. It's all right. There's some good product there. There's some very good product there. I actually was most impressed by some rosin that I tried. I ran into randomly. I'm sitting there in a meeting in one of the cannabis clubs, and good friend Sherbitsky and Victorine walked in. Shout out to them. What are you doing here? They're like, what are you doing here? And then we took some dabs of some rosin that was created right there in Medellin, and it was phenomenal. I had to go take a nap before dinner.
It was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal. I've got pictures of it. It's great.
Yeah, I'm not buying the phenomenal part, but okay.
I don't give a damn. I'm not trying to sell it to you. So
exactly, because I'm not buying those booth cakes. But shout out to the C word with a big old super chat. Says, is Ellen Hollywood Jr. Holland coming for your Wagyu money with her new weed news brand she dropped today? Just kidding, y'all. Are the highest and the nicest and always will be. Well, thank you very much, the C word. We appreciate you very, very, very much. Yes. Shout out to the C word. Get some Wagyu today.
Shout out. Big shout out to the C word.
Not the best video.
You want to talk about Ellen Holland? Is that what you're going to talk about, Jace?
What's that?
No, we're going to show this rosin.
What is she talking about?
Ellen Holland, like the C word just asked. Ellen Hollywood Jr.
That's not
Holland
showing up good, Jenny. It's not showing.
It's not. My ring light's messing it up, but it's okay. It was phenomenal.
Let's see.
Yeah, interesting.
Have you checked it out? Have you checked out this new weed show?
No. I haven't checked it out. I just heard about it just now. It's the first time I've heard it.
We'll be checking that out.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
C-word. And we'll be sending our sentiments their way. Maybe she ain't fucking with this Wagyu though. I'll tell you that much.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all keep on coming through with these super chats. We're gonna keep that Wagyu coming because we are all about the beef.
You know it.
And speaking of, Kendrick Lamar dropped another song last night. Keeps on coming. But thank you all for joining us for another episode of High 9 News. You can catch us live weekdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, high noon on the East Coast. Damn, my screen just went out. Might just have to freestyle.
You want me to do it for you? You want me to do it for you, Rico?
No. You can catch us live, and big shout out to the super fans. The C word always showing love. Thank you. Anybody else coming today, Jason?
Just the C word today.
Okay.
Just the C word.
Thank you, as always. We'll be checking out Ellen Holland. Big love to her and her channel. Unless she's trying to rip us off, then it's fuck you. No, just joking. Live audience members showing up and giving us love every single day across all media platforms. Our Reddit correspondent team tuning in and bringing us much needed variety of perspective and their respected opinions to the table. Production team, Cloud Media Partners, all the sponsors keeping the lights on AV struggles to a minimum. As always, Cannabis Sativa L, the reason why we show up to read these stories every single day. Thank you too, baby girl. It has been thirstiest of all Thursdays, September 12th, 2024. You've all been blessed with the top industry headlines. Hope it's enough for you to put in your pipe and smoke at least until tomorrow. My name is Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High 9 News, America's #1 and forever #1 Ellen daily news show. Get it right, get it tight. Jenny Beth, you're the only one outside the studio today. What you got? What you got for us? You got two.
Oh my God, you're in studio? I love this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, we said all the fire talk, so y'all just send some love and some thoughts and prayers out. There's a lot of huge fires going on in California right now, some in Orange County, some in San Bernardino and LA County. There's, I think, a loss of 40 homes and structures so far. So just, take a moment while you're token to think of those people and then don't burn the house down.
Yeah, and pause and get under a table with these earthquakes too. This shit's getting crazy.
Where was this earthquake at? I didn't feel anything.
It was in Malibu. It was a 5.1 in Malibu this morning.
I didn't feel it.
Yeah, I know why you didn't feel it.
I don't know who's gonna stunt when they lose a little beach house, but all right.
And Jason was getting a humdinger.
You guys all have a fantastic day.